Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming out on this gorgeous sunny day today. That song that you just heard was Fanfare, Esprit. I feel like this microphone is way too loud for the number of people here, but I think we'll be okay. So that was written by Brittin Chambers, who is a prolific and award-winning composer from Texas. And I would love to read what she wrote about that song, as she always has thoughts when she's writing a song, which is, I think, a good thing to have. All right, she writes, the general meaning of Esprit is liveliness, vivaciousness, or sprightliness. I think you heard that in that song. People with Esprit are described as full of life, joy, and vigor. When used in the phrase esprit de corps, it is describing those feelings of pride and loyalty shared by members of a group. I think we all feel that in this group about the music we're playing. When setting out to write this piece, her goal was to write an energetic fanfare and an opener that is not only fun, but also has a bit of flourish. Nothing starts a concert out better than a bold, lively fanfare paired with tuneful, memorable melodies and counter melodies. I think she captured her own piece very well, don't you? So that was our first song. Our second song that we're going to play for you today is called Voyage of the Northern Lights, which after the last few months we've had, it's like I was a fortune teller or something. Voyage of the Northern Lights is a musical narrative from an old Scandinavian folktale. The beautiful, awe-inspiring Northern Lights, the beautiful, awe-inspiring Northern Lights are carrying the fallen Vikings to Valhalla. That is what one of the folk tales say. Another version is that the Northern Lights are a dying warrior's final exhale and farewell before leaving into the afterlife. So, interesting takes, I think, on the Northern Lights, and hopefully some of you were able to experience some of those in the last few weeks. Isabella Morrill is an Oregon native, the composer for this song. She holds dual citizenship in the US and Finland, which I think you're going to hear hints of that. If anybody's familiar with the tune How to Train Your Dragon or the movie, I hear hints of that in here. She's a newer composer, but she's also won a lot of awards. Her compositions are most often described as being dramatic and energizing. Her goal is to bring rich tangibility to those who listen. So you'll have to see if that's what you feel after this song, Voyage of the Northern Lights. All right, thank you very much. That was the Voyage of the Northern Lights. That was one that we all had a lot of fun putting together. Very gorgeous piece. The next one that we're about to play is very different. And by the time we're done today, this afternoon, you're going to be wondering what in the world is the theme of this concert. The theme of this concert is female composers. When I went out to pick some music for this semester, I like to pick new stuff because I figure everyone here has played in a lot of concert bands and all of their iterations in high school, and they've probably hit all the major works. So why don't we find some stuff that's newly composed, and celebrate some of the composers that we have now. And I actually came upon what's going to be our next piece and thought, ooh, I like this one. Then I found out it was by a female composer, and I thought, hey, why don't we see if we can put together a whole concert of female composers? So that's what you're getting today. This one that we're about to play is Unidad and Ritmo. It is an African Latin jazz piece. So very different than the Finland Voyage of the Northern Lights. This is often described as an infectious blend of European melodies and lush harmonies with a heartbeat rooted in the rhythm and treasures of Africa. The collaborations of artists like Dizzy Gillespie and Tito Puente gave way to a worldwide love of an art form with humble, profoundly spiritual, and yes, even oppressive beginnings. The intent of this original composition is not to add African rhythms in their purest form to Spanish-styled melodies reminiscent of her own ancestral heritage, but rather to pay respect to the result of the organic progression through time of the humble cultures thrown together on a small island, which contributed to the development of these very specific Afro-Cuban forms into what they are today. So from this piece, we're going to play the first two parts of it. The first one, you should be feeling the serenity and feeling of friendship, which is another theme that's coming through in here, group, togetherness, and friendship. The second one is joyful unity in play and dance. And I was going to say about this composer, Michele Fernandez spent her life in Florida as a performer and teacher who has now in her retirement become known for her compositions as well. So please enjoy Unidad. All right, so this not only captured me musically, but also her inspiration for writing the piece. Just, I thought was very fitting for right now and fitting for what we're doing, and I think we should keep this narrative in mind as we definitely go into this week, but also just life in general. So let me read what she says about ConnectUS is the title. She said, human beings, this is a lengthy one, so hang with me. Human beings, even more than other animals, are inherently social and wired to connect. Yet, in spite of how busy we seem to be, often even finding ourselves surrounded by many other people, we are not always connected. Anyone else feel this way? In fact, we can sometimes find ourselves feeling quite isolated or lonely. At the beginning of ConnectUS, this piece, she, not I, she depicts a hectic, busy scene, but with brief interruptions of solos, meant to convey feelings of solitude and introspection. As the first section of the piece develops, various other themes begin to join, such as the first lyrical theme, played by the euphonium, as well as a more positive theme played by the woodwinds, that seem to say, we can all stand strong, we can all stand together. The second section of this piece is a lyrical setting of the hymn, Blessed Be the Tie That Binds. The clarinets and low woodwinds begin a chorale-like treatment, and the flutes remind us of standing together. Brass soon join the conversation, and before long there is a great intertwining of eighth notes descending and ascending lines that are passed from one instrument to the next, eventually leading us to an emotional peak, followed by gentle reminders of our lonely theme and our standing together theme. The final section takes an unexpected turn, driven by a Latin-based groove. Soloists begin to play new, energized versions of the lonely theme, improvisatory in nature. They start adding on and playing with each other. More musicians keep joining, which eventually culminates in a full-out jam session. for those of us who are more jazz-minded. Measure 148, not that you're counting, starts with an uplifting ending which is again based on the blessed be the tie that binds. Overall, we have more in common with others than we often realize. Even the feeling of isolation is something that most humans have experienced at some point. We are really never alone, because it is likely that someone has felt what you feel or is even feeling it right now. Most of the time, trials will pass and the sun will rise again tomorrow. But as we go day by day, it really is wonderful when we find commonalities between us, when we discover the things in life that truly connect us. So when I read that, I thought we have to do this piece. Plus, I just really liked it. So I hope that maybe resonates with you, and I hope you enjoy this piece, Connect Us. All right, we are about medium in size, so this is about the length of concert that we're good for at this point. So we hope that you have enjoyed this. We have one more piece for you, but before we get to that, as I change my pages, I just want to let you know about some more upcoming concerts here at the college. We have a guest group coming in that I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name because I'll butcher it. But this Thursday night, they're playing compositions by Native American composers. So that one's going to be really neat. I think it's in 120, but it's 7:30. Oh, it's in the gallery right here. 7:30 Thursday. Okay. Then the next one we have is our orchestra, and they'll be playing a concert on December 2nd in, I believe that one's Tower 120. Everything is at 7:30. Then we have the xylophone percussion ensembles playing back here on December 4th, and on December 8th, to round it out, we have our college chorus, and they will be back over in Tower of Fine Arts. Usually we're on the stage, but they're fixing and upgrading our stage right now, so we get this lovely bright room on a bright sunny day. All right, our last song is by a composer, Musamane, hopefully I did that okay, is one of, if not the most famous Japanese samurai swords. Who knew? We're kind of hitting all the different regions of the world today. The sword was made by a master blacksmith around the turn of the 14th century. There's many, many, many legends about what it was capable of and what it did, and I'll let you read into that if you're interested. But sadly, it was lost. The sword itself was lost at the end of World War II when all of Japan's weapons were confiscated. Rumor has it that there was an American soldier or American sergeant rather, that took the sword and under the auspices of this confiscation, but no record can be found of it. Some think maybe he took it, whoever the he was, because there's no record of even of the person who supposedly took it, and kept it hidden away somewhere. It's believed that it is still out there, this sword, and that by now it is worth many millions of dollars. So I guess if you're a treasure hunter, there's a new one for you. This is our last song of the afternoon. Thank you again for coming. Thank you for supporting your students here. They've been such a pleasure to work with. Enjoy Legend of the Honjo.